Welcome to another edition of Great Health, Abundant Happiness, and Outrageous Love. My lip feels a lot better. This is the end of week 4. I was just looking at the video at the end of week 3, and I couldn't even say, welcome to another edition of Great Health. I said it, and I really was in pain. I could feel the pain. It was hard for me to watch.
Right.
But it feels better today, and I think it's probably less swelling. I probably had more blood the last couple days, but
Right, agreed. It's definitely swollen, but less swollen than it has been throughout this process. So just to recap, this is the 4th edition that we're doing on the immunotherapy treatment on melanoma in situ, which is the earliest stage of melanoma. Again, normally, and first of all, let me preface this. We are not giving anyone advice. We are just bringing you along our journey and sharing our journey with you. So this is not meant to be advice for anyone to use. If you want to share our journey with anyone else or with your doctor and talk about it, that's why we're doing this.
yeah.
But don't, take this as any medical advice. So this is our journey with Jeffrey's melanoma in situ. Again, the earliest stage of cancer across his top lip. And normally, if this were anywhere else on his body, he would have surgery and have it removed. He would have a chunk of his skin taken out and it would be over with and he'd be cancer free. But this is his entire top lip. So in order to do surgery, which would be the first, line of business on that, that would mean taking off basically his top lip.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a lot of lip, as my first doctor said.
Exactly.
And so we're trying to go down this path, and we've done a lot of research and studying, and went to MD Anderson, which they're the best in the country according to our research.
Best cancer center. They're rated the best cancer center. Yeah. With that in mind, there are a lot of amazing cancer centers, and it really does also depend on the type of cancer.
Right, and this is somewhat, I want to say somewhat experimental, because it's not really FDA approved for this, but elsewhere, I think in the UK, the things I'm reading about in the UK, I think they're more aggressive. Again,
yes.
I'm not expert here, but it feels like it's doing all the right things. So we said it in the last video, it goes in, this immunotherapy goes in and highlights the malignant cells, which are basically hiding from your immune system. And I've done a lot to increase my immune system. I've done some intermittent fasting and things like that. And we've gotten to that in earlier videos, but to increase the immune system. So I feel like I'm strong and ready, so that as this is getting targeted, the ulcerations and the swelling and all that is good. That's the battle going on. And I feel like it's clearing. And one thing I was going to say about the clearing, I'm very thankful for all you guys out there. I've got all kinds of messages coming in and texts, people on LinkedIn and off of Facebook, and just people reaching out and texting, and people calling, and it's really heartfelt, and I can feel the energy and the vibes that people are sending, and I really appreciate that. Karen and I tend to be, we try to focus to try to keep our whole life at the highest vibration that we can. We're not perfect, and I feel like that high vibe is what you need on your side of the fence. Not only a strong immune system to fight this stuff, you have to have a very positive attitude, have a high vibration, so all that flowing in helps. Karen's going to talk a little bit here what she's doing with some crystals and things like that, because I'm meditating on this. This morning I had a long time meditating in front of this fire. I'm just envisioning my T cells and B cells going in to fight this cancer, and I'm just visualizing it and doing all of that stuff, which we know is really important when you want to manifest anything. So I feel like it's really working.
Yeah.
And I think all the people's good vibes coming in really helps, and we really appreciate it, right?
We really appreciate it, and I can tell you that Jeffrey feels it. It's like an energetic, magnetic force that is enlightening him and healing him, and it's such a cool thing about humanity, because I think we have 2,500 subs. So I'm not sure how many people see this. It's not just the subs that see it, and some of the subs may or may not see it, but thousands of people are seeing this, and it's free for them to send a mental thought or prayer. And I don't think anybody that sees this doesn't naturally, send that good vibe back, because that's what we're feeling, and that collective energy. And what a beautiful thing to receive from people that we don't even know and that don't know us, but they've taken a moment out of their own consciousness and their own thought in their own life to just have a beautiful thought of healing, for another human that they don't even know. And I can't tell you how much we both feel that, but I can see it and feel it in Jeffrey's healing process, because he's really taking every angle of building his immunity. And like he said, it's not just your physical body, it's the entire energetic field, it's your emotional feeling, it's everything. So from our entire hearts and souls, we thank you for that. And then I am going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we're doing outside of the immunotherapy treatment, which, as Jeffrey said, it's FDA approved for other treatments. It is not FDA approved for the treatment that he is using it for. Again, we are not medical professionals, so double check us on anything like that. But that's our understanding about it. And we hope that it's successful and he can be a pioneer in all of this, because we know so many people have reached out to us that have had melanomas. And we've got a good friend, and his wife has had several melanomas on her nose, to the point where who knows, this might be the next option for her, rather than continuing surgeries and then plastic surgeries, because at some point things become, it's not even the deformation, it's the fact that things on your face, your eyelids, your nose, your mouth, if surgery is done there, sometimes the way that we use them is no longer available and valid.
Or the same way, yeah, exactly. And I was just going to say, what we're using, this potion is, it's called imiquimod. Imiquimod is what it's called. So if you want to look that up and check it out, you can, but there's a lot of stuff online about it. But you want to talk a little bit about the crystals. Like, we were just at a great crystal shop in Arizona. We spent a bunch of time out there. If you saw the last few videos, but you were going to talk about the selenite, right?
Right, and Jeffrey is wearing a piece of selenite. So I can't really tell you where the inspiration or where this draw came from for this selenite, but I kind of woke up one day and I just felt like I needed to have some selenite in my possession, or maybe not possession, because I don't own it, but I share this space with it, and I needed to have it in my environment.
Right.
That's really that's the right wording that I wanted to share. And that was a couple of months ago. And when we were in Moab several months back, was it Moab?
Yeah.
Or this one? Yeah, this was Moab.
Moab, yeah.
And I was really looking for selenite wands, because I've been doing some Reiki, which is energy healing, and I'll give you the actual definition in a minute. So I was looking for some selenite wands, and they didn't have it, but I really had to have that in my possession. Again, in my field of energy. So this piece called out to me, and I just love it. When I look at it, sometimes I can see the rainbow in it, and it just has this really beautiful feeling when I'm near it. And it's a very cleansing crystal. And I'd still been looking for the wands, and here's something that just the universe worked in our favor. We went back through Moab last week. Well, first of all, let me talk about this. I wanted Jeffrey to have something in his field of energy, and we spent quite a bit of time in Carefree, Arizona, and we couldn't find what we were looking for. And then one of the ladies that worked there showed us this, and I think it just spoke to you, Jeffrey. And I said, put it in your hand and see how it feels. And he's been wearing it close to his heart ever since. And I think it was...
Yeah, well, and selenite has a very cleansing characteristic, right? It clears his space, it clears bad energy, things like that. And
right.
I go to bed like, feeling this, and as I'm listening to a meditation about cleansing and clearing. So
Right.
it's doing well. And then you found your magic wand.
This was so crazy. So we went into this store in Moab, who when we went there, this was what they had. They didn't have the wands. And I asked if they had wands. They pulled the box out. They had just received these wands. They weren't even out. And which was really cool, because I was then able to, for me, I like to feel the crystal and see if it speaks to me and see if it's the right one and look at it. But it's really just a feeling that I get. And so we chose 3 wands, and we keep one on our bed at all times, and the other ones are next to our bed most of the time.
And why don't you talk about the Reiki healing, because we've studied this, and last time we were in Sedona, we both went in for a Reiki session, and it's basically a healing session. You can perform Reiki on yourself, but there are Reiki healers that study this and are very powerful that use it to heal others. But why don't
and
you
they're
explain?
called Reiki masters, and they have to go through a process to get there. I am not a Reiki master. You know, I was about to say I'm not a Reiki healer, but I think anybody
we all can be.
Who performs Reiki can be a healer. And let me give you the definition, and then you can interpret it as such. So Reiki is a healing technique that's based on the principle that the therapist or the person, it doesn't have to be a trained therapist, can channel energy into another person by means of touch to activate the natural healing process of the person's own body and restore their physical and emotional well-being. I mean, how cool is that? And I want to say, in a weird sort of way, all the great vibes and thoughts and sentiments that, so many people have sent, people we don't even know, that in itself has been a form of Reiki healing without touch, because different cultures believe that Reiki involves touch and other cultures believe that it does not. So you've all been part of this, whether you knew it or not, which is so super cool. And then the selenite. So, I want to share with you a little bit more about selenite and what the properties of it, it means. So it's a very high energy crystal, which is pretty wild, because at the very same time, as Jeffrey said, it's very calming and balancing, and it's used to cleanse. So, a lot of times in Reiki, and some people do say Reiki. So if you are one of those,
I think that might be the correct way.
People that says Reiki and it is correct, let me know below. It's kind of like vortexes and vortices.
Tomatoes and tomatoes.
Most people say Reiki, but I do believe it is Reiki. So, but let me know, because I hope there's some Reiki masters down below. I'd love to hear from you. So anyway, using the selenite with Reiki, it aids the healing session and can help with pain relief and to balance the immune system to help heal any issues, which is really interesting to me that's its purpose. And I was drawn to it well before I had any idea, what it meant.
Well, let me throw one other thing out there that's kind of funny. We were in a store. It was like a Target, looking for something. And Karen had a crystal book that was sitting out there, and she said, "Here, Jeffrey, look at this while you're waiting for me," because she was looking for something. She likes to read all the labels, and I used to get antsy. I really don't anymore. I'm pretty patient now, don't you think?
Yeah, and I gave you something that you were interested in, which is crystals.
But she gave me this book, and I opened the book, and it was a pretty thick book. Opened the book, and the page I opened was selenite.
That was
right. So I had to go back and find you and show you this, because you had been talking about it. You already picked this up. You were all attracted to the selenite, but it was like, I don't know, 150-page book. I opened it up, and that's what it opened to. It was really wild.
It was
right,
but not. We always say, like, you're never going to believe this, but you will, right? And that's so true. So I perform these Reiki healings on Jeffrey, and again, it's something that I think it is a two-way street, because the recipient needs to want to heal.
when you want to receive it. I mean,
receive,
everything's
right.
energy. As you were talking about this, how everybody's sending their energy.
Right.
By the way, even the immunotherapy is just targeting, but I'm using my own internal energy to destroy these malignant cells.
Right.
And it is all energy in your body,
right.
and your cells, and your cells are activated by outside energy, and that's people's good thoughts coming in, your own positive thoughts, and even what we're talking about here.
Exactly.
Right.
It's spot on. So selenite wands like these are used for the healing process. So it instantly cleanses the auric field and clears negative energies from one's physical and etheric bodies. So, what I'll do with Jeffrey is when he's laying down at night, and he's usually 5 days a week, he's usually just put on this immunotherapy. So, we're really thinking about his T cells in his body, and letting those, I think they're called melanocytes, which is the melanin that creates the cancer, come out from hiding, so that this treatment and his own immune system that's activated by this treatment can fight them. And so that's a great time to do a session, because your energy is very focused.
Well, I can tell you, it calms me too. If anything, it's at least calming, because when I have to go put this on, I've described this before, it's like, think about, a bunch of bees stinging your lips, or you've got cuts and sores and you're putting battery acid on. I mean, right. I look in the mirror sometimes, especially on the 5th day.
Not that you've ever put battery acid
no,
on your
but
lips,
I'm
but
just
what you would
imagining
imagine.
it, right. Or maybe
right.
Citric acid, like take a bite of a lemon when you got cuts in your mouth.
Yes.
It's that's the way I think about it. And I'll sit there in the mirror like, okay, it's time to put it on. And I don't really want to put it on. And I've got to put it on. So I put it on, then lay down in bed, and it's very uncomfortable. So if I can say this, right out of the gates, it's very calming, and I feel like it's soothing to me, and it kind of puts me at ease. Right. So the energy is helpful.
Exactly, it is, and it's because he's involved in it and he's invested in it, and that's really important. If this is something that you find hokey or woo-woo-y or whatever, then maybe it's not for you today. Doesn't mean you might not change your mind down the road. Give it some thought, right. Give it a try, see how it feels. Go into a crystal store and see if, for Jeffrey and I, we go into these stores, and it is this feeling of euphoria that we both get, and we're almost in a trance. We can see it in each other's eyes. We'll just kind of stand there and just absorb it and feel it. It's really, pretty magical. So, these wands, and I'm so excited because I had been wanting it forever, and how ironic yet not that this particular wand is exactly, what Jeffrey needs for his healing in his, in his energetic field. So they're used to direct high frequency energy into the body, stimulating physical healing, when you're doing this Reiki treatment. And that's what this crystal is about. It's that healing and everything that he needs. So they're also very important in purification, and energetic cleansing. So again, in Jeffrey's case, we are trying to purify his body. We're pulling those cancer cells out, because they like to hide in our body where our body can't attack them. But, we're wise to them, and we're pulling them out. And in addition to the immunotherapy, this Reiki, this energy is allowing Jeffrey to visualize these to come to the forefront of his, lip, and literally, like, I can, blow them off into the wind, right? I mean, that's what we're hoping to do, and that's the plan. And, it's super, super exciting that, that we're going down this path. We can't wait to see the results. We are extremely hopeful. And the other thing I want to say about the selenite wands, just for people who are interested in crystals, is these are great body scanners. When I had my session, the Reiki master, she told me that at the beginning of the session, she was using the wand and I was laying down, and she was using a pointed wand. And when the wand was moving a lot in certain chakras in certain areas of my body, she was able to determine where I had either blockages or issues or non-issues when it wasn't moving. And she did it again at the end of the session, and there were certain things that oh my gosh, I just felt so relieved upon. I walked out of that session probably feeling the calmest I'd ever felt, and I really just kind of wanted to sit like this for about, I don't know, until I fell asleep and woke up, because I didn't want that feeling to go away.
It's kind of like if you've ever had a spa treatment, which you say it's similar to if you have a great massage at a spa and you roll out of there and you get your robe on, you're in the relaxation room. It's the same kind of feeling, right?
Same kind of feeling, but for me, it was even the feeling afterwards, the feeling that I was able to leave this session with. During the session, I would say a massage probably feels better, and than the Reiki session. But afterwards, the feeling that I was left with afterwards carried with me.
Right.
Whereas sometimes with the massage, when it's over, I'm kind of disappointed because it's over, and I'm still very calm, but it's over. This was different. It carried with me, Jeffrey, and for quite some time, both of us, remember? Yeah. We sat down, and I can't remember exactly where we went, but we sat down and we were so calm and happy, right, and in a very joyful, very high state.
So just to summarize in the battle, this is week 4. We're at the end of week 4. I've got 2 more weeks of the immunotherapy treatment, so I've been eating all the right foods to increase my immunity. I've been doing intermittent fasting. I've got the immunotherapy cream I've got going on. I've got all your positive vibes you guys are sending. Thank you for that. My own meditation around it. Karen's Reiki sessions. So we have everything going on here. We're going to keep you posted as we go all the way through this 6-week process, and then the final meeting, and then hopefully the biopsy that says, hey, everything's gone. So that's the plan. We're going to keep you posted.
Yeah. And you know what? I just want to tell you, I want to shout out to another channel that I love. She does a lot of Reiki. It's Reiki with Anna. If you are into that and you want to check her out, I just think she's amazing, and I love what she does with crystals and sounds and jewelry, and jewelry for sounds. And anyway, shout out to you, and that's it. Wishing you great health, abundant happiness, and outrageous love from the nest of Copper Mountain.
Thanks, guys.